Hi everyone, thanks for coming. We're gonna talk about a new generation load balancer and reverse proxy, and it's called Traefik, and it's written in Go. So, quick presentation. I'm a French DevOps and developer. I love Docker, I love Go and Linux. I worked in really big companies like Airbus, Thales, and really small companies. Small startups, and I'm the creator and maintainer of Traefik.
Yeah, my name is Manuel. I'm alongside Emile for here. I'm a German DevOps and developer as well, so who could have guessed? I actually also love Docker, Go, all the stuff which is all around there. I'm currently employed in a local Cologne-based agency. We just do stuff for customers and they pay us for it. And I'm one of the maintainers of Traefik alongside him.
So why did we build another reverse proxy? You already have a lot of reverse proxy, like Nginx, HA proxy, that are already used for a lot of years. And this is because of microservices. Today, a lot of people are deploying their application on microservices platform. And you want to split your big monolithic application into microservices. And then you are supposed to use a lot of new tools to do that, like for example containers using Docker platform or Rocket from CoreOS. You will probably need to use some orchestration tools like Docker Swarm or the new Swarm mode, Mesos, for example, Kubernetes or Rancher, to manage all these microservices in your production environment. So in order to deploy them, to scale them, to monitor them. You will probably need some kind of service discovery or service registry, like for example Consul from HashiCorp or etcd from CoreOS. You also could use Zookeeper or Eureka from Netflix. So, and you probably will need to use a reverse proxy in front of all your architecture, all your infrastructure. So, in order to route your inbound traffic, inbound network traffic to your infrastructure, so for example, using a domain name to the right microservices or a domain query, and using a traditional reverse proxy like Nginx or HA proxy can be really difficult to do in this new kind of infrastructure because you are supposed to configure this reverse proxy using a configuration file. And if you want to deploy a new microservices in your infrastructure, you will need to update this configuration file and need to reload your reverse proxy. And if you want to do that multiple times a day, it will be very difficult to do this reliably. And you will need another tool to generate the right configuration file for you and to reload your reverse proxy. So this is kind of really a complex situation, and here comes Traefik. The simple idea behind Traefik is to listen the orchestrator API or the service registry API and generate its own configuration dynamically. So you don't need any other tool than Traefik to generate your configuration. Traefik just listen the API, generate its own configuration, and that's okay. So if you deploy a new application, Traefik will detect it automatically and create a route dynamically on this application. So this is really simple idea. And here are some basic features. So it's written in Go. So like many other tools in the infrastructure today, for example, Docker is written in Go, Consul is written in Go, etcd is written in Go. So it allows you to build a really small application, small by the size, I mean, to compile really fast and with all the dependency into a single binary. So it's really, really great when you want to deploy your application on multiple architecture. It supports multiple backend, so we can connect to Docker, to a Docker daemon, to Swarm, to Kubernetes, to Mesos, Marathon, Consul, etcd, Zookeeper, and more. It supports hot reloading, so this is a basic feature, so you don't have to relaunch the reverse proxy dynamically. You don't have to fork the process like with a HR proxy, for example, to keep the connection between hot reloading. It supports multiple strategy, load balancing strategies, so weighted round robin, dynamic round robin, and we will probably add more in the future. But these are the more basic strategies. So dynamic round robin is great because it dynamically change the weight of your connection with the network error you got in your request. So this is kind of great. It supports circuit breakers, like it was introduced by the Netflix open source stack with Estrix. I don't know if you know Eureka Estrix. So this is really a great tool if you are deploying microservices. And it supports out-of-the-box WebSockets and HTTP2. So let's do a small demo. So I will show you how to deploy Traefik on Kubernetes first, and Manuel will show you how we deploy Traefik on Rancher. So first, I will start a Kubernetes cluster using Docker Compose, but it's not that important, this one. Okay. Okay, great. And so I will deploy. First, I will deploy a simple application that's has Cheesy's name, because Traefik release has Cheesy's name. So this is one of the maintainers that did this one. So I will deploy a simple application on Kubernetes, and as you have seen in the previous talk, I will deploy also Traefik that will be connected to the Kubernetes, and I will deploy ingress. So ingress are just a way to represent reverse proxy rules into Kubernetes. So Traefik will listen to ingress resources and will generate its configuration accordingly. So first, I will deploy my 3 applications, so Stilton, Cheddar, and Wensleydale. And I will deploy 3 services. So just to show you into the UI, I have 3 deployments, Cheddar, and 3 replica set, pod, and also services. Now I will start Traefik. So Traefik can be configured using by multiple ways, using a configuration file, TOML configuration file, using flags, using a key value store. But here I will use a simple configuration TOML. So it's simple because here everything is commented. So, but I will just use and command the Kubernetes part. So in order to connect to Kubernetes. So I'm just starting Traefik. Okay. And then, finally, I will deploy my ingress on Kubernetes. And Traefik should have received all the ingress because it is connected to Kubernetes. So here is the web UI of Traefik. So you can see dynamically that he can see all the application we have deployed in Kubernetes and all the rules we have deployed with our ingress. So just to remind, the ingress file, here it is. And I will deploy another ingress just for... Yeah. We'll just deploy. Yeah, should be okay. So, and to test this, I know. I think I made some mistake with my ingress. Whoops. Okay, this was not the good one. No, it's good. The demo effect. Okay. I will try another one. Cheese ingress. Oh, great. Okay. I don't know what's going on, sorry. Maybe it will work. Ah, sorry. Okay, so sorry for for that. So you can see that using the good cheese name, so cheddar already done. If I choose Stilton, I will be routed on the right microservices by Traefik. Okay, and if we just have a look at Traefik dashboard, you will see that, for example, cheddar.localhost is connected to backend cheddar.localhost, and cheddar.localhost is sending the request to this IP. So all these information are collected from the Kubernetes API by Traefik automatically.
Then I take over. So we actually have the same in Rancher. Like, this is a completely blank environment. There's nothing in the default stack so far. So the first thing we want to do is create an API key in order to enable Rancher Traefik to talk with the Rancher API. So we just add an environment API key. We call it whatever we want because this is just test anyway. And please bear with me, first time French keyboard, I'm completely lost. So, it's not multi-language. Yeah. So in this window, I actually just created the access keys I needed for the API. So you will see why. I just go on the default stack, and I want to add a service. And the service I want to add, of course, is Traefik. So we just name it Traefik. Here I can define what Docker image I want to pull, and I want to pull the latest Traefik image. So I just put in Traefik there. No, that's a semicolon. Yes. I just put in the latest. I then need to map ports, of course, because I want to see what I do. So I map the... Maybe I'm not. There. 80 to 80 and 80, 80, whoops, to 80, 80. And now there's the other part of configuration that Emile just mentioned. He did it in his TOML file. We are doing it just by command line. So what I want to do is I want to enable basically the Rancher integration. I want to put my Rancher endpoint, so Traefik knows where to point to. So it's Rancher dot
Yep.
endpoint. Oh, no, I need an equal. That will be funny, like that. No. Way! Whoa. Then I need to put the keys I just created. So it's Rancher dot no. Access key. How can you work with that keyword? Seriously.
Years of practice.
So now we put in the Rancher. I will somewhere learn this eventually. Rancher dot secret key. No. And finally, because we want to set the domain, so it knows where to route traffic to, we're just setting it for test reasons to my domain, which is Rancher dot domain. Oh. Well, at least I finally know auto dot. So, yeah. And then if I did not mistype, which was like probably did happen, yeah, whatever. I just create the service, and we can say that it's being booted up. So I'm gonna open a new tab, put in Traefik dot. Oh. Where's my typo? Because I'm stupid. What I actually said is that I disable, that I configure all the stuff by this command line, which I do, but if I want to check the web interface, which Emile already showed you, I have to enable it, of course, because otherwise it won't work. So we just upgraded it once again. See that the container is being booted up. And there we go with the Traefik dashboard. And as you can see, there's nothing in yet. The provider rancher is loaded, but there is no service because there is none yet. So I just quickly deploy a stack. Let's call it block, for example. And then I just, for demo purpose, I want to add a service, which I name Ghost. And I use this Ghost CMS block thing, which is written in Node.js. And the only thing that I need to put in order to have it available is to put a label, because Traefik needs to know which port it should use for the traffic. So it's Traefik dot
E.
And yeah, Traefik port to port. And in case of goats, it's 2, 3, 6, 8. And then that should work out. The container will be started right in the stack. Currently, Traefik is still empty because the container is not there yet. The container is running, so within the next 15 seconds, it should be listed in here. There we go. And there you can see that it auto-generated some kind of URL by the parameter it gave it. I just copy and paste it. And there we go, without any kind of configuration. That's Rancher and Traefik.
Whoa. Seems we have killed Chrome. No chance. Wow. Okay.
I still don't believe how I can work with the French keyboard, seriously. This is...
Okay, I start again with Chrome, sorry. Yes, restore. Okay. Okay, great. Just a few words on how to manage your SSL certificate, because once you have an automatic way to manage your inbound traffic, you want to probably use SSL. Traefik can use Let's Encrypt, which is a free automated certificate authority. So as soon as you deploy a new application on your infrastructure, Traefik will ask to Let's Encrypt dynamically a new certificate and will renew automatically the certificate. So you don't have to pay for a certificate because they are free using Let's Encrypt. Traefik has an official Docker image, so you can just Docker pull Traefik. And that's a lot easier. Traefik is part of a bigger project sponsored by Cisco Cloud, which is called Mantle. And this is the default load balancer of Mantle. And Mantle is an open source project to deploy microservices infrastructure using Terraform from HashiCorp, Kubernetes, Mesos, Docker, and Traefik. We just released this week Traefik V12, codename Morbier, which is a French cheese from the Alps. And Traefik, this release is featuring few things interesting. For example, the Rancher support, Eureka support. So Rancher has been made by Manuel. We also support native Prometheus metrics. We now have health check in Traefik, and we have a little tiny things called a Traefik bug. So if you encounter a bug on Traefik, you can simply use Traefik bug, and it will open a new issue on GitHub, filling with Traefik version and configuration. So this is funny. So we have pretty traction right now on GitHub. We have more than 7,000 stars on GitHub. It has been downloaded more than 3 million times, and we have merged more than 500 pull requests, and we have more 100 contributors. And the company behind Traefik is Containers. We just raised 1 million euros to build a team to develop Traefik again. So if you want, I have some stickers. Maybe you have seen them. They are on the table. And I just want to finish by yeah, it's like this one. Just want to finish by a quote of Casey Hightower, who is a famous advocate from Google on Kubernetes. And it was a tweet in June 2016. It's 2016, and I really wish I had a load balancer that works across cloud providers with a real API for managing dynamic configuration. And 20 minutes later, it's 2016, and I may have found a load balancer with a real API support for dynamic configuration, Traefik. Thank you. And if you have any question,
feel free.